Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new movie review. This one is for Abigail. Now, the movie centers on a group of criminals who are hired to kidnap a 12-year-old girl and then watch her for 24 hours in order to collect a $50 million payment. Soon into their stay at an isolated mansion, they come to realize that she's not your average 12-year-old, and she's the daughter of a powerful underworld figure, and she's a vampire. Now, this is from the Radio Silence guy, the directing duo, Mark Bettinelli Opin and Tyler Gillen. They are the directors behind Ready or Not. I love that film so much. Summer Weaving. And the latest Scream movies. They are so good in doing horror. And now, moving on to Aisha's Wild's performance as Abigail. I had to talk about this so much. She's is something else. If you saw her headline Matilda the musical, you already know that she's absolutely brimming with talent, and her work in Abigail just rather further cements that in an absolute fact what talented she has. So many elements of this performance that I love. She's an ace at the action. I love how playful she was with wavering between innocent victim and then sinister vampire. And another thing that I absolutely love is how you can always see the wheels in Abigail's head turning. You dare to lean in an effort to know more and figure her out. And it's also one particular quality that is really going to enrich the movie on a second viewing, because I just absolutely know there are so many cool performances and new ones that I just want to revisit again. So from going to from our vampire to our criminal ensemble here. Oh, I love the ensemble so much. Matt Bettinelli and Tyler Gillen, the directing duo here, their opening just struck gold. Across the board, Melissa Barrera is a true star. I was immediately taken by her confidence and her wig as Joy in the movie, and even with those qualities that I love, I also really appreciate they let her make mistakes. It upped the tension of the film, the engagement level, and it also made her feel more real. Barrera has absolutely no problem going to the extreme in this film, but she also managed to keep George just grounded enough, and it really just wind up making that character the perfect anchor for this story. Now, jumping over to Dan Stevens, who's having quite the year in horror between Abigail and his next upcoming film, Cuckoo. I have a feeling that I'm going to say this with every character here, but Dan Stevens in this world is just pitch perfect casting. I do think all the criminals characters have a very effective touch of this, but in particular with Stevens, it's just so incredibly exciting watching an actor as deaf as him play with this particular quality. He's so good at making this character feel incredibly dangerous, but also making it impossible for you not to want to trust him. So they have a fighting chance of making it through the night. I want to tell you the levels that Stevens goes into in this role so badly, but I'm not going to push it so far. So I would just tease that he's got some really deliciously diabolical stuff in this movie that he really does make the absolutely most of it. Before I leave my cast of roll call, I will touch on two more here. Beginning with Catherine Newton, I would say again pitch perfect casting. And between the unforgettable hair and wardrobe, and I also Newton's playful says in this role, she really does make Sammy a wholly magnetizing character. She also gets some one-liners in the movie that could have been really risky in less adept hands, but in Newton, they always feel right, honest, and wind up producing the intended effect. And then also like Steven, when things in the movie get especially violent and chaotic, and it's just so abundantly clear that Newton is taking it to an 11 and having an absolute blast in the present, and it just Johnny, it makes it just so fun for the viewer who is experienced this. And I mean, it certainly had that effect on me. And on top of that, I just also really appreciate what Sammy brought to the group dynamic. Again, she's got bite and it's quite fun to watch, but I was pleasantly surprised by how she started to come across as the glue that binds blinds in a sense. She's got this sweet scene with Barrera that I thought hit just at the right time, and I also cannot get enough of the body dynamic between Newton's character and Kevin Durant's character. And by the way, Kevin Durant's character ends up being one of the biggest scene stealer in this film. His line delivery and timing in this movie is truly could not be better. After all that cast talk, I mean, the whole cast is great. Agus Cloud, was in peace. Giancarlo Esposito, I mean, everyone. Now, I can't move on without shouting the cast director, Rich Lee, who also cast the Radio Silence Scream movies and also countless other films that you probably know and love. Abigail does have many standout components, but it also feels like an ensemble piece that couldn't have soared as high as it does without a spot on casting. And they really nailed it here across the board. Every single role truly is just perfect. Now, moving on to those other standout components, Mark Bettinelli and Tyler Gilliam continue to put their directing aces when it comes to horror action. Once things get violent and deadly, it's just one bloody banger of a set piece after the next one in this film, and all beautifully photographed by Aaron Morton, who also shot The First Omen. And I also have to shout out the lighting department on Abigail, because the lighting kept catching my eye and I think really contributed big times in terms of adding textures and atmosphere to the mansion setting. The movie also boasts some A plus stunt choreograph. I especially love how hard they lean into the fact that Abigail is a ballerina vampire. One is just plain old fun to watch, but also I do think that heavily contributes to the fact that Abigail stands out from all the other vampires movies out there. I would tease one set piece that I really dug in this movie because of how well it plays with the vampire tropes. And I won't spoil what it is, but Ortiz is a very clever 3 versus 1 fight, and then of course love where they landed with the vampire look in general, the special effects, the makeup and prosthetic look, and it's just so great. And also allow the performance new ones to shine too. And then of course there's blood, there's a lot of it here, and it's used very well. I know how twisted this is going to sound, but anytime there was this massive burst of blood in Abigail, I was beaming, and because the movie owns this moment quite well, but also because I'm a horror fan and movie lover with a massive appreciation for well executed practical effects scene like that. And this movie just is absolutely full of those type of scenes. Now, I would say that my main criticism after seeing the movie that I suspect could be alleviated by a second watch. The script can get quite exposition heavy, and on that hand, that exposition is necessary. It does serve the group dynamic, but admittedly, at times it did feel like a lot. However, now that I have that information, particularly character backstories and motivation back into my brain, I'm eager to give it another go and see how it all flows and to make sure all those details align as well as I think they do. But this will be a highly rewatch film for me because it's a bonkers blood so good time. And it's a clever spin on the vampire subgenre filled with electrifying personalities and downright wild set pieces here. I mean, the movie just bloody fun. I mean, it's great to see a new vampire movie, but also having like a clever spin on it and bring something new to the genre. So I think it's just fantastic. I highly recommend you go and watch this. Now that's my review for Abigail. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.